One of the options within Lightroom, which I know is very popular with Lightroom users, is when we have a batch of images all shot in a similar location and under similar conditions. And as we go through this short demonstration, you'll recognize why so many studio photographers and wedding photographers find this option so valuable. Here we have an image on screen. I've left the film strip in place at the bottom of the screen, but we're actually viewing Lightroom in the Develop module. Now, we've already worked this image through in one of our other videos, so it's an image that's had a fair degree of image editing. We're happy with it, and we're happy to use it as it is. But if we look along the film strip, we can see other images which are very similar to this. Now, in some certain circumstances, they could almost be identical, and I'm thinking again of a wedding photographer or a batch of studio portraits, for example. So we begin the process by editing an image to our satisfaction. Then we can go to the options at the bottom left of the screen just above the film strip and click Copy. In the panel above, by default, you can see most of the options are ticked, but we get the freedom to copy from one image to another all of the adjustments that we've put in place, or just some. And as you can see here, we can check all or check none. Some are removed by default and we would need to turn them on. If you think about it, local adjustments, we could have a situation where if we were doing a batch of portraits that we've done some local adjustments on the eyes and lips. Well, we cannot copy those from one portrait to another, because as the model turns their head, then those factors are going to be in a different location. So we may have to revisit and fix those. But in other options, such as the crop, it will replace the crop as we copy and paste if we want. So if we've heavily cropped an image and we want that to be applied to other images in a sort of an automatic way, then we can tick the box and it will be done. We've got the same thing here with upright and upright transforms, and also spot removal, because that's going to vary from image to image. So all of the logical options here have been ticked. So all I'd need to do is to say on this occasion, given the subject we're using, I can click Copy. If I select the next image, which just happens to be quite similar, and I go to Paste, there we have an instant result. We've just copied the settings from one image to another. Now, given that all of these images were shot in the same location, under the same lighting, and probably only a few seconds apart, or certainly only a few minutes apart, we probably could do no worse than pasting that into one of the other images, even though it may be a slightly different subject, to see what the effect is. After all, if we don't like the effect, we can go to Reset and say no thank you. Here's another image that's had some image editing done, and it featured in one of our earlier videos, and it's another one that we can copy and paste the settings from. So let's go to Copy. Let's once again just take them all for quickness this time, but we've got infinite control on what we want to take. I'm going to go to the next one in the sequence and paste. Now here it hasn't done such a good job. It's left the image a little bit on the dark side. But even if we didn't want to accept the copy and paste in that situation, don't forget we still have the opportunity to open up our basic tab, look at our histogram, and to make some changes if we see fit to do something about the image. And here I can raise the shadows a little bit, the exposure a little bit, maybe add a bit more colour, and you can see what I mean. But what we can also do is try the same settings on another picture. Let's try it on this one by pasting. And that one doesn't look too bad, even though it's a wee bit dark, but I'm sure a little tweak in the tone and the picture and the colour comes to life. Quick and easy way to apply your image editing settings to a batch of images where it's appropriate.